So I hit a new milestone today. Not on my channel though, but in real life. Today just so happens to be my birthday. Remember the 5th of December. I turned 30 today. Yikes. So what did I get for my birthday? Why, a new patch for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And what a patch it was. I'm going to focus on one major aspect of this patch throughout the entire video. But just in case you haven't seen the patch notes in detail, there were a number of weapon buffs and nerfs. I have a link in the description to the full patch notes. What I do want to talk about, however, is what I consider the biggest change with this patch. The change to the points you receive for getting a kill in Domination and Hardpoint, as well as the points you get for capping objectives in these two modes. And boy, was it a huge change. First of all, instead of only getting 50 score points per kill in these two modes, you now get 100. Which, of course, is the same as in Team Deathmatch. Capping a home flag is now worth 200 points. That's insane! I don't think capping the very first flag in a domination match has ever been even remotely close to this. You can capture the home flag and then just sit in a corner for 2 kills and get a UAV. And then just stay in that corner and get assists to a system hack and just roll it over and over again. You don't even have to play the objective. Of course, that's why there's a lot of uproar in the COD community after this patch. Streaks are now easier to get. So the most prevalent streaks are clearly the bombing run, the system hack, the assault drone, and the warbird and paladin. You'll notice I have a tally going in the upper right hand corner showing just how many system hacks and bombing runs I encountered in a single match. Take note that I joined this game late too, so who knows how many the overall total count could have been. To be honest, this was one of my biggest complaints of Advanced Warfare. I couldn't personally get any streaks. However, with this change of points in Hardpoint and Domination, I've been able to rack up several streaks in a single game. So is this good or bad? What this change of points does is essentially make Domination games incredibly fun or incredibly frustrating. Since the patch, I've played probably around 10 games, and I'd say half were good and half were not so good. It just depends on what side of the score streak bombardment you're on. If you're on the spamming side, it's fun. If you're on the receiving side, it's not so much fun. You kind of have to wonder if they made this change to get people to use different setups. Really, how often did someone need to make an anti-air class? I can't even count on both hands the number of times I saw a warbird or paladin to shoot down, unless of course it came out of a care package. Now, however, you can see at least one of these per game, and as an example, I saw at least 4 paladins in a single match yesterday. This boost in score streaks also will force players to use new perks. Let's face it, Perk 3 tier has the best perks in the game. I bet at least half of you run Blast Suppressor and or Toughness all the time. Unfortunately, the stupid Hardwired perk is in Tier 3. And trust me, if you're on the receiving end of a system hack bombardment, you're going to want to have a class with this perk in it. I wish they put at least one of these 3 perks in a different category though. Speaking of new class setups, you're going to want to have a launcher. I suggest making an anti-air class that has the Blind Eye perk and a stinger on it. There's going to be quite a bit of airborne kill streaks to shoot down now. Blind Eye, remember, hides you from every score streak in the game. That doesn't make you completely immune, remember, as someone could easily drop bombs from a paladin or a warbird or even an assault drone to a flag you're capping and take you out. So yet another perk you might be forced to use is Flak Jacket. This also protects against score streaks. With all those bombing runs, you may want to use Flak Jacket on a class too. I'd put this on my anti-air class as well, but that's just me. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the community seems to be in an uproar. They say that Hardpoint and Domination are now simply unplayable. However, just remember, almost everything in this game has a counter. I think I outlined a counter to all of these throughout this video already. Flak Jacket counters bombing streaks such as the assault drone and the bombing run. The Hardwired perk will make System Hack 100% useless, and the Stinger plus Blind Eye will help you take down airborne streaks with ease. Of course, this will require you to either play with these types of classes from the start, or switch in the middle of a game, which can be frustrating to do, but that's how every other Call of Duty has been. Just a reminder to you support streak users, switching classes mid-game will reset your support streaks, so don't do it unless you're way off your streaks. You know what? Before I close, there's one thing I forgot to mention. People backing out. After a few rounds of domination yesterday, this is what I noticed. After the first minute or so of the game, the winning team would have a paladin or warbird in the air for the remainder of the game, and sometimes even both. Coupled with this, there were a never-ending string of system hacks, an always-present assault drone with rockets, and bombing runs every minute and a half or so. The moral of this example is, if you get off to a slow start, the enemy team can just pin you down and keep cycling through the streaks, making it virtually impossible to cap flags. If you're playing solo, you can try the countermeasures, as I just discussed. However, versus an entire clan, even with all the counters, you'll probably still have a bad time. No combination of perks, launchers, or guns can get you out of a hole like that. So what ends up happening? Well, you can probably guess. Half, if not the entire team, will end up rage quitting. In one game I played, 2 people left the game after the first system hack. That's crazy! One system hack causes people to rage quit? How about 10 system hacks, coupled with bombing runs and assault drones? I have a feeling that's going to be the new norm, rage quitting matches. I noticed it a lot in Black Ops 2 when a lot of higher up streaks got called in. But so far in Advanced Warfare, I've rarely seen anyone back out of a game. Prior to this patch, that is. In the gameplay here, by the way, I've got to give credit to the enemy team. You'll see the final tally of at least the system hacks and bombing runs we call in just a second. But they didn't back out until the very end. They continued to try and cap flags. Towards the end, spoiler alert, they must have got fed up because they finally all raged out. So my thoughts overall on this patch? Yeah, it's both good and bad. I love the buffs and the nerfs they made to some weapons, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the new score points for getting kills and playing the objective. However, I definitely can get very frustrated at times with the score streak bombardment. Like I said though, everything has a counter, so you just need to adapt and get used to it. Of course, I'd put money on a wager that they will do something to modify this. My guess is that they will raise the points for the system hack for sure, and they may even raise the bombing run streak as well. I'm just hoping they don't revert back to the old point system. I also believe they'll lower the initial flag cap and domination down from 200, as that's just a bit too much for a guaranteed flag cap at the start of a round. Overall though, it was a good attempt by Sledgehammer to patch this game. I have quite a bit of faith yet in this game and their development team. Let's just give them a little time to work it out. So as you'll see here, the total tally was 13 system hacks and 11 bombing runs in a single domination game. And this wasn't even ground war. I can't imagine what it'll be like over there. You always have that option not to play these 2 game modes. They didn't raise the points for getting kills in every game mode, remember. So let me know what you guys think of this patch in the comments below. I'm anxious to hear what some of you have to say.